Hey there, Corporate Misfits. Brittany Darrington here, and welcome to episode number 8 of the Corporate Misfit Podcast.
You're listening to the Corporate Misfit Podcast with Brittany Darrington, where female entrepreneurs can get powerful tips and advice on how to start, launch, and grow their business.
I am really excited for you all to meet today's special guest, Holly G, as she's going to be sharing with you how she left her 9-to-5 to start a business that she loves. Holly empowers modern online entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and influencers to go from confused to confident and from fearful to fearless on both sides of the camera. She teaches them the skills they need to create not just videos, but business cinema. Business cinema is the way that she likes to describe the next level video. Video with a plan, a purpose, a strategy, and a system. Not just creating videos for the sake of creating videos, but creating videos that actually move your business forward. Holly started her career video production in 2008 as a camera operator, producer, and editor, working with big industry names, including the Sundance Channel, Sony, Music, Nick.com, HBO, Bono, Big Time Rush, and so many others. Her skills and experience in producing and directing and shooting and editing has allowed her to translate her skills into a range of educational courses and services to support entrepreneurs in their quest for video success. Now, Holly, can you tell me, what were you doing prior to starting your own business and working in the film side of things?
So I'm originally from New York, but at the time I was living in Florida and I was working as a licensed real estate agent and an office manager for my brokerage. And it was around about 2008, just when the housing market went.
Oh.
And, I was doing the books and I knew things were coming. I knew things were getting bad around the office. And, my mentor, my broker, my boss at the time came to me and he said, "I'm going to have to let you go." And I was like, I kind of saw that coming, but he gave me a couple of months notice, which was great. And he always said, "Do what you love and you'll never work another day in your life." Mm-hmm. So at the time, this was like March 2008. So I was 30 years old and I was like, I don't want to be having a conversation with myself at 40. Like, what did you just do for the last 10 years? Like, I don't want to go and work for another company, doing office work or whatever have you. And I know I could have easily done that, but I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to waste the next 10 years. I don't want to be having this conversation at 40. Like, what did you just do? So I was like, what do I actually love? What do I love to do? And I was like, I've always had an interest in film or photography. So I was like, let me try to, see where that goes. And I was sitting at home, unemployed, and a commercial for the Travel Channel Academy came on. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. It was a school that the Travel Channel had put together to teach people how to shoot and edit video, Travel Channel style. I was like, who wouldn't want to travel around the world shooting video for the Travel Channel? I'm like, that sounds like my dream job. So it was like a weekend workshop thing. And I went up to it in New York and I did it and I absolutely loved it. And I was like, this is perfect. And that turned into an opportunity to travel around Mexico, shooting a documentary, which I did in the summer of 2008. And I loved every second of it. And I learned how to surf while I was doing that. I learned how to rock climb. I just had the best time ever. And when I came home, I was still living in Florida and I was like, okay, now what? So I met with like every production company within a 50-mile radius. And I was like, hey, are you guys hiring? What are you doing? They're like, no, we're not hiring. So I was like, you know what? Forget this. Within 2 weeks, I packed, sold, or put into storage everything I owned and moved back to New York.
That is so awesome. And I love that you found a way to really find joy and happiness and excitement and, on the film side of things and do something you've never done before. So did you have any background prior to this training that you went to?
No, I had taken like one college course on photography, so it was just, head first into the mix, learning through experience.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
And I was just eager to learn all the things. So, I paid attention, took notes, and, I was like, I love learning. So, put me in a situation where I need to learn something and I'm going to have a good time.
Oh, that's always awesome because it's great to learn as an entrepreneur. And sometimes we think that once we become the boss that we're like, okay, I know everything. I don't need to learn anymore. So having that continuous learning cycle is just, it's so important. So
Absolutely.
once you got back, you're like, okay, I found this passion of mine. I'm really excited about doing it. What was next? How did you get into the industry and really build your business?
So once I got back to New York, I just started, looking for jobs all over the place. And I ended up working at a documentary production company as an intern. And I was interning at this documentary production company. And through that relationships, I built, I knew, so New York is the biggest small town there is, especially when it comes to, specific industries. Like everybody knows everybody. The theater people know all the theater people, the, fashion people know all the fashion people, and the film people know all the film people, and people want to work with people that they know, like, and trust, so, and all of the jobs are like, hey, you know somebody who can do this? Do you know somebody who could do that? A lot of them are just through word of mouth and, through relationships. So when I got this internship, my goal was to, build lasting relationships with people and learn as much as I possibly could. And, that's exactly what I did. I also started going to networking events in the city. At the time I was living in Westchester, which is like a 45-minute train ride into Grand Central, which wasn't bad, but I was going to some of these events and I was just meeting like really strange people. And I was like, all right, then, is it worth it traveling 45 minutes, doing all the things to end up in some like weird dark bar, talking to some strange guy who's really kind of hitting on me and not really. So I was like, you know what? No, I don't want to do this anymore. So I was like, there's gotta be something closer to home. And I looked and I was like, nope, nothing. So I started my own meetup group all about, it was called the Westchester Film Industry Meetup Group. And it was all about like getting people in Westchester who were in the film industry to kind of get together and talk about just film stuff and just dork out on, video and film and all the things. And I ran that group for about 2 years and I grew it to almost like 300 members. It was such an amazing experience, like doing that. And just all of the connections and the people I met, I'm still friends with some of the people I'm still friends with to this day. And, it was everybody from the person who on the weekends wants to explore, film and video or get better with their camera to, hardcore industry professionals who have been doing it for 20, 30, 40 years. So it ran the full gamut of, everybody at every experience level.
Now, what was that like when you had the opportunity to really hear, I'm assuming it was men and women, or was it just a women's group?
It was all people inside of the film industry. So it was a film group. And basically we just kind of talked about film stuff. We made a movie together. And it was great to build those relationships. Those relationships led into other opportunities to work in the industry. And I ended up working as a camera operator and editor and producer for a number of years before I started my own production company in about 2010. I started my own production company because everybody was working with, corporate clients or, all of these lucrative jobs. And I was like, that's great, but what about other people who just want to make like video for their online business or video for their websites or just a YouTube video, and they can't afford a $40,000, they don't have a $40,000 budget to, record their two-minute, video. So I was like, I want to help those people. So I started a production company in 2010 and I started doing that. And that's when I realized that everyone had the same questions and concerns when it came to video. Like, I want video, but I don't know what kind of video I want to make, or I want video, but I don't know that I'm ready to be on camera, or I want video, but I don't have a budget for it. So it was these same questions, and it was a constant process of educating my client. So I was like, you know what, let me go back to the drawing board. And I started another company in 2012 called the Media Prep Group. And the Media Prep Group was all about preparing you to present yourself and your business on camera and in the media. And I teamed up with a public speaking coach and a media trainer, and we were hosting live events in the city, which was great for a little bit. It was like super hustle though, to, get people to come out to the events. And I just didn't like it anymore. I was like, this is not working for me. That's when I kind of discovered B School and this whole like online world. And I was
you were in B School too?
Yes, I was in B School. Oh my God.
Did we know this?
No.
Okay. I was like, wait a minute. Did I know this already?
No worries. So I was like, how can I like leverage my time and my skill set? Like, I don't want to continue like hustling around to events, and I don't want to, continue working with clients, producing their video content. I was like, I know I'm going to teach people how to make their own videos. So I took all these years of production experience and I started thinking to myself, I want to turn this into residual income and start a business where I can work with people from all around the world. And I was like, how do I do that? And I was like, oh, B school. So I went through B school, and probably like, I went through B school, and one of the things that I loved was the community. Loved the community. The amazing people that I met through the community. It was just phenomenal. The education was just the stepping stone I needed to feel comfortable and confident moving forward, and not feel like I was so lost and didn't know what the hell I was doing. I had just enough information to be dangerous, I'd say. That was that. So then after B school, I started the company that I'm running now. And that was back in 2013. It was originally called Videos by Holly. And now I rebranded to Holly G Studios.
Oh, I love it. Did you have a business plan? Did you have a strategy in place? Or were you like, okay, I'm going to just go for it and see what happens?
I was like, I'm going for it. We'll see what happens, and it was literally day by day in the beginning. And I was like, it was dangerous. Like I said, I didn't know what I didn't know. So I was like, let's just see where this goes. But the thing is, one thing I did know was that I wasn't going to give up on myself. But I was just going to keep going, because I knew that I had a very marketable skill that a lot of people needed. And I knew that I could help a lot of people. One of the things that I did early on that was magical for me was in January 2014, I decided that I was going to do a 30-day video challenge to help people overcome their fears of being in front of the camera. So every day for 30 days, I challenged people to get in front of the camera and get on video. And I had maybe 150, 200 people sign up. Over the course of 30 days, obviously some people peeled off. And by the end of it, I had about 30, 40 people who had participated every single day. By day 7 of the challenge, I was like literally in tears. I had the transformations that I was seeing, the stories that I was hearing. It was so more than I could have ever expected it to be. And it was absolutely, and I was like, this is definitely what I want to be doing now for the rest of my life. Like this, being able to, I equated it to, it was literally like watching roses bloom. People coming in feeling so I'm getting the chills, so feeling so uncomfortable and so unsure and so trepidatious about being visible and being seen and being heard, and not liking the way they look and not liking the way they sound, to, like feeling so confident and so proud of themselves and so motivated to, use this medium to communicate their special gifts to the world. Like that was just so powerful for me. And I was like, I'm done. I'm doing this forever.
I love that too, because nowadays that is a huge fear for so many people when it comes to getting on camera, whether that be on YouTube, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, or just doing a video that can help their business or just help them to promote themselves. Now, when you went through the challenge and you noticed that this is a need in the market, how did you go about putting a service or a product out there to be able to serve this need?
So right after that, I thought, okay, well, now these people need the next step. And I put together something I called the Leading Lady Masterclass. And it was basically like my early process of production. So now that you're comfortable with video, how do you actually make the video? Because getting comfortable in front of the camera, that's only step 1. Yeah. Because after that, then you actually need to do the stuff, right? And that was really my area of expertise, the doing the stuff. And how I actually came about doing that challenge was because I did that challenge myself. Being a professional, you would be like, yeah, you're going to be great in front of the camera. And I went to sit down in front of the camera and I was like,
whoa, what if I say?
Exactly. I was like having like an out of body experience. I was like, this is crazy. I'm like, people are going to think I'm a complete idiot. I'm like, I'm supposed to be the video person and I can't even make a video. So I was like, no pressure. Right. So I literally locked myself in my room and I kept making videos until I wasn't uncomfortable. And during that process, I had kind of like an epiphany where it was like, okay, this feeling, this nervousness, this anxiousness, this feeling I'm feeling is me growing from the inside out. It is me doing something I've never done before. So I'm feeling a way that I've never felt before. And it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was able to, reposition that in my mind, it just pushed right on through. And that's what I wanted to bring to everybody when I did that 30-day challenge. So after that, I did the Leading Lady Masterclass, which is all of the next steps, which is really my zone of genius, the planning, the pre-production, how to actually make videos that look good, that kind of stuff. And then I've just kind of been iterating that since that point, and, have grown tremendously in the way that I teach and the things that I teach over the last couple of years.
Now, one of the fears that so many entrepreneurs have as soon as they go into business or start their company, whether it be a side hustle, go full-time into it, they're afraid of finding clients. They're like, what if I have this great product and service, but then no one buys it? No one purchases it from me. So what are some ways that you went about kind of just finding your ideal client and getting them to connect with your business?
Just through listening. I just listened to people, because coming into it, being in, you're the expert and you understand your, expertise in industries on such a deeper level than the people that you want to help. Mm-hmm. So, it was easy in the beginning to get confused about how I can help and where I can kind of come in and meet somebody where they are and bring them to the next level. Mm-hmm. So one of the things I did initially early on, which was extremely helpful for me, was when you signed up for my newsletter, no matter which avenue you came in, the second email you got from me was a survey, and it said, "Help me help you." And I just asked a bunch of different questions, like, what are you struggling with? What is, your biggest problem with video? If I had a magic wand and I waved it, like, what would that look like for you? And getting the answers back to that was everything. Because it really helped me kind of say, whoa, I was going to come in here, but really where I need to come in is here. I know you guys can't see me, but I'm making things with my hands.
That's me all the time. I love that, because so many people forget to ask for feedback. And sometimes we make our products and our services based on what we believe our audience needs. And then all of a sudden we put it all together, and then our audience is like, no, I don't need that. I need half of that, or I need just a fourth of that. And that's all I really needed. And so it's really great to listen, because if we take a step back and listen to what our ideal audience is telling us, then we'll be able to really make that perfect product or that perfect service for them. But when we're starting to listen to only ourselves and we think that we know the answer and we don't take a step back, sometimes that can hinder us, especially in our launch phase. And we're trying to figure out, why is no one buying? Why aren't people coming and flocking to this product or service? So I love that you listen, because that allows you to kind of just revamp if need be, or know that you're on the right path so that you can continue for growth. Now, what about support? I know when I went into the online world, my whole family thought I was crazy. You would have thought I was telling them that I was selling something illegal. Like, they were like, what are you doing? Like, why would you ever do that? What was your support like with your friends or your family? How was that when you decided to start your own business?
Honestly, I feel very fortunate, because at the time I was dating this guy and he was so super supportive of me. He's like, I believe in you. You can do this. This is great. Like, he totally understood what I was doing and supported me, all the way through. And so I married him. Now he's my husband, and he's my biggest cheerleader and one of my best supporters. I say he's on my board. So I talk to him every day. I talk to him every day about my business, and he always is, always giving me great advice. I don't always listen to it, but always giving me great advice.
Having a good support system is so helpful and powerful, because you're already going against so many risks, so many odds, and you're already having to have a confidence level that, when I was an employee, I had confidence in certain areas, but going into entrepreneurship, it was a whole nother level that I had to have confidence within myself. It was like, I have to believe and truly have faith in something that I cannot see. I don't know what the outcome's going to be, but I'm going to test it out and try it anyway. How do you handle your day-to-day activities, and how do you stay productive in your business without having anyone telling you what to do?
I am I'm an ENTJ, just FYI. I am a Capricorn, which are, I don't think, I've always been very extremely disciplined and have an extremely strong work ethic. So another secret thing about me that probably a lot of people don't know, so you guys are getting the inside scoop here. I very rarely, if ever, watch television. Like I have one TV in my house. It's in my basement. And that's it. So I'm very disciplined. And when I am working, I'm working. So I tend to not get distracted with but there was my productivity level prior to having my first baby, and then my productivity level and readjustment after having my first baby. So that was two different things. And I feel like now one of the things that helps me stay super productive, my baby is he'll be 10 months old early next month.
Oh my gosh, that's the fun stage. That is
he's so snuggly.
Oh.
He's so cute. I love him so much. So what I do now, because I have prior to him, I could just work whenever I want. Like my husband would go out to work. I'd be like, all right, great. I'm working all day. Like I wake up, I go into my office and I work 12 hours. And I think I'm getting lots of stuff done, which I was getting stuff done for sure. But there was a lot of like down the rabbit hole a little bit, sometimes getting distracted, sometimes multitasking and context switching a little bit too much. So I think I got a lot of stuff done, but I really just touched on a couple of things. It's like that visual of, it's like a circle with arrows going in 10 different directions. So you only went like that far in one direction, as opposed to like if you put all of that effort into one direction. So that's what I do now. I take all this effort and I put it in one direction. So I have chunks. I like to work on things in chunks. So if I'm doing social media planning, I do social media planning. If I'm doing video, I do video. If I'm doing, relationship building and correspondence, I do relationship building and correspondence. And I try not to, and I'm a work in progress. I try not to get distracted with other things. Like if an email pops up or I get a notification on my phone, I just don't look at it. I say, that's not the time for this right now. This is the time for this. And I find that when I do that, I get so much stuff done.
It is so true. I mean, I love batching. That's something that I'm like, I'm obsessed with batching and like making sure that all my energy and focus is on like that specific thing. And I realized that when you do that, it really can help you get so much further along. And you can also identify maybe where you were spending some hours and times where it wasn't really as productive. And so it allows you to use your time so wisely and get it done in a shorter period of time than sometimes working that 12 or 14-hour day.
Yes. I think I got this from you. I think I heard from you on something somewhere about you and your team. You do 3 days at the beginning of the month or 3 days at the end of the month, and you do all of your social media planning.
Yes.
I was so inspired by that.
Batching is one of those things, like we plan so far in advance. But what's really funny is like my personal social media, I try to handle that myself, which sometimes I'm not the best at, but all of our other business social media and even our clients that we'll take on their social media with, like we will get it all complete within a 3-day time frame. It just allows you to free up time in other areas. So
yes.
I love that you're doing that too. That's so
fun. And I do that with my videos. And that's actually what I teach people how to do with their videos. Like plan out your videos, batchy batch.
Yes. Because you'll have that 1 week where you're like fall off and you're like, okay, I don't feel like doing it. But if you already have it done, you're good to go.
You just have to spend a couple of hours at the beginning or the end of the month and you're done.
Exactly.
No more excuses.
Now, being an entrepreneur, sometimes we have our ups and downs. And are there any practices that you do within your business?
I do different things at different times. So, depending, like I was going to say like, not like follow the trends, but I like to kind of like ebb and flow. Like maybe toward the beginning of the year, I do a lot more journaling. And then toward the middle of the year, I might do some, get back onto like just some meditation and things like that. Like there's no like set routine. Like I'm like every day I wake up, I have 3 sips of my water and then I turn to the left and I do this. Like I'm not like that. Although I do like structure and I do like, systems and processes. I'm not like that with myself as far as motivations are concerned.
I love that. And I love that you give yourself that permission to do what you feel is needed at that time. Sometimes when we get in a strict schedule, like this is all I can do to make myself feel great. And sometimes it doesn't work for everyone. So the fact that you know yourself and you give yourself permission to try new things and do things differently when the time is needed, it's perfect.
Actually, there is one thing that I do like, I really enjoy to do is running and working out. Like,
yes.
Those things kind of bring me back.
So another thing a lot of people kind of struggle with, especially in the very beginning of starting their business, is how to plan financially. Like, how do you plan for obviously the unknown? Who knows? Your business might take off, and who knows? Your business might not take off. So what are some things that you did in the very beginning stages of your business to kind of help you plan financially?
When I was doing a lot of, switching over, I had kind of like in between jobs that I was just doing just for extra cash, but I had also put some money away so that I had a little bit of a cushion. But so year one, I was making, decent money. I'm not like going to Saks and buying new shoes money, but like, good stuff. I was eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but the thing is that you really, you have to figure out what's comfortable for you. You have to make sure you have enough money put aside for, I would say, a year. Like it takes like a good year for things to kind of start moving. And granted, there are exceptions to every rule. There are, definitely outliers who are able to kick things into high gear, much sooner, but it's likely because they had other experience prior to, this isn't their first rodeo. So if this is your first rodeo, make sure, don't take that leap unless you have something to land on. Be smart about it. If you don't have backup or support from somebody else that, you will fill in the blanks while you get things kind of up and running. And then maybe there's, some people work better under that kind of pressure. Like, I need to make a paycheck. I need to, make the money. So I'm going to hustle and do what I need to do. They need to feel that pressure. So whatever you think is going to work for you.
But like having that cushion, it can just make more peace of mind in your business that you can actually operate with clarity versus sometimes with that back against the wall where you like become like a car salesman sometimes, like hurry up and buy.
And you don't want to sell out of desperation. You don't want to be like, oh, I need the sale. I need the sale. I need the sale. You don't really want to be put in that position. So one of the other things I think I want to, make sure is said is that you don't need to spend all the money on all the things when you're just getting started. Be smart about the things that you want to invest in. Like if you're in year one, do not spend $10,000 on a website, because things are going to change for you dramatically as you kind of settle in and get to know yourself as a business owner and, who your customers are. So don't take, your savings and think that you need to just blow it all on all the things, the shiny things. Like there's a lot of stuff you can do for free. You can talk to people for free. You can tell people what you're up to for free. It doesn't cost a lot of money to create a simple website with an opt-in, and you can start building your list. You can start making videos with the equipment that you have. I actually encourage people to do that right in the beginning instead of spending tons of money on upgrading and having fancy stuff. You don't need it. What you need is to deliver the value and to attract your people.
I completely agree with that, because that is something, I know that's something I did in the very beginning. It's so great to be resourceful because then you can get your business further along, you can profit more, and also you can plan ahead by knowing like, okay, I'm only spending $10 on this one little program, or I'm only doing this versus I spent $30,000 and now my business is shutting down because we don't have
Exactly. I can't tell you how many people were like, we're getting Infusionsoft like in year one of B school in 2013. I'm like, you don't need it.
No.
What are you doing? Get MailChimp.
MailChimp with 2,000.
You have 10 people on your list.
Exactly.
You have 10 people on your list. Settle down.
I would love for you to share just one piece of advice that you would give to a female entrepreneur who's looking to leave their 9-to-5 and start their own business.
Well, why not bring it full circle? I'm going to give the advice that was given to me. Do what you love, and you'll never work another day in your life.
I love that. And it's so true. You'll have fun. Even though there's
Yes.
ups and downs, there's so much fun along with it. So
Listen, I'm telling you, there's so many ups and downs. If you're not having fun with it, you just stop doing it. Go get a 9 to 5.
exactly. Holly, this has been awesome. We're going to play a fun game called
Ooh.
Lightning Round, where I'm going to ask you a few questions and you'll respond with one word. And I think I know some of them because I think we're soul sisters. And
Yes.
so, all right, the first question is, what is your favorite entrepreneurial book?
Essentialism.
Love that. Now, what is one platform that you cannot live without within your business?
You know the answer. Kajabi.
All right. Now, what is one platform that you use to help you find new clients and get visibility for your business?
Come on. We all know the answer to this one. YouTube.
Yes. Now, who is one entrepreneur that you look up to and that you really admire?
Amy Porterfield.
Me too. I love Amy Porterfield, one of my favorites. And last question, what is one motto that you live by within your business?
Something I say in every single one of my videos. So if you've ever seen my videos, you know the answer to this. It is, remember, you are someone's reason to smile, so don't give up.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Well, Holly, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for joining me. Can you share with us how we can stay in touch with you?
Sure, absolutely. And thank you so much. This has been so much fun. I could talk to you all day.
I know.
You can find me. I'm all over social at hollygstudios.com or at Holly G Studios. My website is hollygstudios.com. And I like to hang out on YouTube and Insta.
I have enjoyed speaking with you today. Again, you are like my soul sister. And thank you so much for joining us on the Corporate Misfit podcast.
If you've enjoyed today's episode of the Corporate Misfit podcast, we invite you to check out the Corporate Misfit Club. The Corporate Misfit Club is the essential resource for female entrepreneurs who are looking to start or grow a business they actually love. Whether you are a seasoned entrepreneur in your startup phase or simply thinking about taking the leap into entrepreneurship, we've got your back, girl. With our extensive course library, monthly training, exclusive members-only discount perks, and unlimited tools. We also have a supportive community of women where our members share stories, experiences, their wins, and business tips. The Corporate Misfit Club is the perfect place to be to start, launch, or grow a business. So check it out at corporatemisfitclub.com.